Your specific person is finally coming back to love you always deserved. Imagine waking up one morning with an unshakable sense of peace, knowing deep within your heart that everything you've been hoping for is finally unfolding in your favor. The waiting is over, the uncertainty is fading. The love you've been longing to experience is no longer a distant dream. It is becoming your reality. If this message has found you today, let it serve as a reminder that your story is not defined by separation, silence, or past disappointments. Your next chapter is being written by the beliefs you choose to embrace right now. Every lasting transformation begins within, and when your inner world changes, your outer world begins to mirror that change in extraordinary ways. For too long, many people have believed that love must be chased, earned, or fought for. They have measured their worth by another person's actions, allowing temporary circumstances to determine permanent beliefs. But today, you are invited to see your situation differently. What if the distance was never the end of your story? What if every challenge simply prepared you to recognize and receive the love you have always deserved? The moment you stop identifying with rejection and begin identifying with being deeply loved, valued, and chosen, you create space for an entirely new experience. The version of you who is secure, confident, and worthy naturally attracts relationships that reflect those qualities. This is not about forcing another person's will or controlling their choices. It is about becoming the person who no longer doubts their value, who expects healthy love, and who lives from the assumption that they are worthy of loyalty, respect, affection, and commitment. As you cultivate that inner certainty, your perspective changes. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety gives way to confidence. Hope becomes expectation. Instead of wondering if love is possible, you begin living as though it is already unfolding. That inner shift transforms the way you speak, think, feel, and respond to life, opening the door for healthier relationships and genuine reconciliation where it is possible. Throughout this message, allow yourself to release old stories of heartbreak and replace them with a vision of love built on trust, honesty, mutual respect, and emotional security. Let every word remind you that your future does not have to look like your past. Whether you are seeking reconciliation, healing, or simply becoming the best version of yourself, this is your invitation to embrace a mindset rooted in confidence, hope, and self-worth. Your greatest love story always begins with the relationship you build with yourself. And as that relationship grows stronger, you become ready to receive the kind of love you have always deserved: steady, genuine, fulfilling, and lasting. Become the version of you that naturally receives love. Everything begins with the story you repeatedly tell yourself. Before any relationship transforms on the outside, something meaningful changes within. If you have been identifying with rejection, uncertainty, or the fear of losing someone you deeply care about, it is time to write a new story, one rooted in confidence, self-worth, and the expectation of healthy love. The version of you who constantly wonders, will they come back? Experiences life very differently from the version who calmly believes, I am worthy of love, respect, and commitment. Your thoughts shape your perspective, your emotions influence your actions, and together they affect how you move through the world. Instead of allowing painful memories to define what is possible, begin focusing on the qualities you want to cultivate in yourself. Picture yourself as someone who naturally receives affection, honest communication, kindness, loyalty, and emotional security. Speak to yourself with compassion. Celebrate your strengths. Let go of the belief that you must earn your value through someone else's approval. Your worth has never depended on another person's attention. It is something you already possess. As your confidence grows, you become more emotionally grounded, more peaceful, and more open to healthy connection. This inner transformation changes the way you communicate, the boundaries you set, and the expectations you carry into every relationship. Rather than chasing reassurance, you begin to embody calm confidence. Rather than reacting from fear, you respond with wisdom and patience. Healthy love flourishes when both people feel respected, valued, and emotionally safe, and becoming the best version of yourself helps create the conditions for that kind of relationship. If reconciliation with your specific person is possible, approaching it from a place of maturity and self-respect is far more constructive than approaching it from desperation or insecurity. Instead of replaying old disappointments, imagine what a renewed relationship built on trust, understanding, and mutual growth would look like. Focus on becoming the person who is ready to give and receive that kind of love. Fill your daily life with habits that strengthen your confidence. Practice gratitude. Pursue your interests. Care for your physical and emotional well-being, and surround yourself with people who encourage your growth. These actions are not about pretending everything is perfect. They are about reinforcing the truth that your life is valuable and meaningful regardless of any single relationship. Ironically, when you stop defining your happiness by another person's decisions, you often become more emotionally available for genuine connection. Love is healthiest when it grows between two whole individuals, not when it is expected to fill every emotional need. Believe that you deserve consistency instead of confusion, honesty instead of uncertainty, and commitment instead of mixed signals. Let those expectations guide the standards you hold for yourself and for any relationship you choose to nurture. Whether your specific person returns or your journey leads you toward another fulfilling relationship, this mindset prepares you for lasting happiness rather than temporary validation. Every day you choose confidence over fear, hope over discouragement, and self-respect over self-doubt. You are building a stronger foundation for the future. The greatest transformation is not simply waiting for someone else to change. It is becoming the version of yourself who is fully prepared to receive the healthy, respectful, and enduring love you have always deserved. Your specific person reflects the new story you believe. One of the most powerful changes you can make is to stop allowing yesterday's experiences to define tomorrow's possibilities. It is easy to become attached to memories of silence, misunderstandings, distance, or disappointment, and unconsciously assume they will continue forever. But every new day gives you the opportunity to respond differently, think differently, and expect something better. Instead of repeatedly asking yourself why things went wrong, begin asking what kind of relationship you genuinely want to build moving forward. Picture a connection filled with mutual respect, open communication, trust, emotional maturity, and consistent care. When you focus your attention on these healthy qualities, you naturally become more aware of opportunities to support them in your own behavior. The beliefs you carry about yourself and your relationships influence the way you interpret conversations, handle challenges, and express your needs. If you believe you are worthy of love and respect, you are more likely to communicate with confidence, set healthy boundaries, and remain calm during moments of uncertainty. If you constantly expect rejection, however, even neutral situations can feel threatening, leading to unnecessary fear and misunderstandings. This is why changing your inner story matters so much. It is not about pretending problems never existed or convincing yourself that another person has no free will. Rather, it is about refusing to let fear become the foundation of your future. Healthy relationships are built on trust, understanding, forgiveness where appropriate, and the willingness of both people to grow. As you strengthen your own mindset, you become better equipped to recognize and nurture those qualities. Imagine waking each morning with the quiet confidence that you deserve a relationship where you feel appreciated, heard, and emotionally safe. That confidence influences your posture, your words, your choices, and the energy you bring into every interaction. Instead of reacting from insecurity, you become someone who responds with patience, kindness, and self-respect. If reconciliation with your specific person is possible, these qualities create a far stronger foundation than fear or desperation ever could. Let go of the belief that the past must repeat itself. People can learn, heal, mature, and make different choices over time. Relationships can improve when both individuals are willing to communicate honestly and treat each other with respect. At the same time, remember that your happiness is not dependent on controlling another person's actions. Your peace comes from knowing your value, honoring your standards, and remaining open to healthy love in whatever form it arrives. As you continue developing confidence, gratitude, and emotional resilience, you become less focused on chasing reassurance and more focused on living a fulfilling life. Ironically, this often creates the healthiest environment for meaningful connection because it replaces pressure with authenticity. Believe that your future is not limited by your past. Believe that healthier conversations, deeper understanding, and renewed trust are possible when both people are committed to growth. Most importantly, believe that you deserve a love that is consistent, respectful, and genuine. When you consistently choose thoughts rooted in hope, confidence, and self-worth, you prepare yourself to recognize and receive the kind of relationship that reflects those values. Whether your journey leads to reconciliation with your specific person or opens the door to an even brighter chapter, the new story you choose to believe today can become the foundation for the love, peace, and emotional security you have always deserved. Release the past and make room for the love you always deserved. There comes a defining moment in every journey of love when you must decide whether you will continue carrying the weight of yesterday or step confidently into the possibility of a brand new tomorrow. The past may have included silence, misunderstandings, distance, heartbreak, or unanswered questions, but it does not have to become the permanent blueprint for your future. Every relationship experiences moments of difficulty, yet growth becomes possible when both people are willing to learn, heal, and move forward. The first step begins within you. Instead of replaying old conversations, painful memories, or imagined worst-case scenarios, choose to focus on the qualities you want to experience from this moment onward. Trust, respect, honesty, patience, affection, emotional security, and genuine commitment. When you stop giving yesterday's disappointments authority over today's choices, you create space for hope to replace fear. Letting go does not mean pretending the past never happened, nor does it require ignoring lessons that can help you build healthier relationships. It simply means refusing to allow old pain to define your identity or determine what is possible in the future. Imagine yourself waking each morning free from resentment, no longer carrying the emotional burden of what went wrong. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" begin asking, "What kind of relationship am I prepared to create now?" That simple shift transforms your perspective. It encourages growth instead of blame, confidence instead of insecurity, and optimism instead of despair. If reconciliation with your specific person becomes part of your journey, approaching it with forgiveness, maturity, and emotional balance creates a far healthier foundation than approaching it with anger or fear. Forgiveness does not excuse harmful behavior or remove healthy boundaries. Rather, it frees you from remaining emotionally trapped by the past, allowing you to make wise decisions based on who people are today rather than only on who they once were. As you release bitterness, you also make room for joy, peace, and renewed confidence. You begin to believe that healthy love is not only possible but appropriate for someone who values themselves. Spend time strengthening your own emotional well-being. Invest in personal growth, meaningful friendships, purposeful work, and activities that bring you fulfillment. The more complete you become within yourself, the less you depend on external circumstances to determine your happiness. This inner stability allows you to approach relationships from a place of generosity rather than neediness, confidence rather than fear, and respect rather than desperation. Healthy love grows where both people are free to choose one another each day with honesty and sincerity. Release the expectation that the future must look exactly like the past. People can change, communication can improve, trust can be rebuilt through consistent actions, and new chapters can begin when both individuals are willing to grow together. At the same time, remain committed to your own standards. Choose relationships that honor your dignity, encourage your dreams, and support your emotional well-being. Believe that you deserve kindness instead of confusion, consistency instead of uncertainty, and commitment instead of mixed signals. As you let go of old wounds and embrace a healthier vision of love, you become emotionally prepared to receive the relationship you have always deserved. One built not on fear or insecurity, but on mutual respect, understanding, lasting trust, and genuine affection. Whether your specific person returns or life leads you toward an even greater blessing, releasing the past is the powerful step that opens the door to a future filled with hope, healing, and authentic love. Expect reconciliation with complete confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can develop because it is rooted in self-respect rather than fear. When you genuinely believe you are worthy of healthy, lasting love, you no longer allow temporary circumstances to dictate your emotional state. Instead of waking each day wondering whether your specific person will reach out, whether they are thinking about you, or whether the relationship can ever be restored, you begin to live from a place of quiet assurance. You recognize that your happiness is not suspended until someone else makes a decision. You continue growing, smiling, learning, and building a meaningful life because you know your value remains constant regardless of external events. This inner confidence transforms the way you experience relationships. You stop chasing validation and start living as someone who naturally expects honesty, kindness, consistency, and commitment. If reconciliation becomes possible, it is approached with emotional maturity instead of anxiety. You are no longer trying to convince someone to see your worth because you already recognize it yourself. That shift changes everything. Your conversations become calmer, your reactions become wiser, and your choices become healthier because they are guided by self-respect rather than fear of loss. Confidence also allows you to let go of the need to control every outcome. Instead of analyzing every message, every delay, or every small interaction, you trust that healthy relationships are built through clear communication, mutual effort, and genuine care. This mindset creates peace because it replaces constant worry with balanced expectation. Rather than assuming the worst, you remain open to positive possibilities while accepting that every lasting relationship requires the willing participation of both people. Confidence does not mean pretending challenges never exist. It means believing that challenges can be addressed with patience, honesty, and respect. If your specific person has grown, reflected, and is ready to build something stronger, your own emotional stability will help create the environment for a healthier connection. At the same time, confidence protects you from settling for less than you deserve. It reminds you that genuine love includes trust, respect, accountability, and consistent actions, not only words. As you continue strengthening your self-worth, your focus gradually shifts away from desperation and toward gratitude. You become thankful for the lessons that shaped your character, the resilience you developed through difficult seasons, and the opportunity to create healthier patterns moving forward. Every day becomes another chance to reinforce the belief that you deserve a relationship where you feel emotionally safe, deeply appreciated, and consistently valued. Imagine yourself already living with that peace. Imagine speaking with confidence, carrying yourself with dignity, and making decisions that reflect the belief that you are worthy of lasting love. Whether your specific person returns or another beautiful chapter unfolds in your life, this mindset prepares you to receive love from a place of strength rather than insecurity. Remember that reconciliation is most meaningful when it is built on mutual growth, sincere communication, forgiveness where appropriate, and a shared commitment to creating something better than before. Allow your confidence to become stronger than your doubts. Let your hope become greater than your fears. Continue choosing thoughts that reinforce your worth, your resilience, and your capacity to love wisely. As you embrace this outlook, you create the emotional foundation for relationships, marked by trust, joy, understanding, and enduring commitment. The love you have always deserved begins with the confidence to believe you are worthy of receiving it, and the wisdom to welcome only the kind of relationship that truly honors your heart. Preference the healthy, lasting relationship you always deserve. The final step in your journey is not simply hoping that love will return. It is becoming fully prepared to receive the kind of relationship that reflects your true worth. So many people spend years focusing on whether someone else will change, apologize, or come back, yet the greatest transformation happens when you realize that you are no longer waiting for love to complete you. Instead, you are becoming someone who is emotionally ready to share a relationship built on trust, respect, kindness, honesty, and lasting commitment. This shift changes everything. You stop measuring your value by how quickly someone responds to a message or by whether circumstances seem perfect. Your confidence is no longer fragile because it is rooted in the understanding that you deserve to be loved with consistency, care, and genuine appreciation. If your specific person returns, you welcome them with wisdom rather than desperation, recognizing that a healthy future is created through mutual effort, open communication, accountability, and shared growth. The relationship you have always deserved is one where both people choose each other every day through their words, actions, and respect for one another. Imagine waking up each morning with a heart that is peaceful rather than anxious. Instead of wondering whether you are enough, you naturally know that you bring kindness, loyalty, compassion, and strength into every relationship. That confidence allows you to love freely without losing yourself in the process. You celebrate your individuality while also creating space for meaningful partnership. Healthy love does not require you to abandon your dreams, compromise your dignity, or ignore your emotional needs. Instead, it encourages both people to become better together while supporting each other's personal growth. As you continue developing self-respect and emotional resilience, you become less attracted to confusion and more attracted to clarity. You begin expecting conversations that resolve conflicts instead of creating unnecessary drama. You value honesty over mixed signals, consistency over uncertainty, and actions that match sincere words. These expectations are not unrealistic. They are healthy standards that protect your well-being and encourage stronger relationships. If reconciliation with your specific person becomes part of your story, allow it to be a new beginning rather than a repetition of old patterns. Leave behind unnecessary resentment, unhealthy assumptions, and fear-driven reactions. Replace them with patience, understanding, forgiveness where appropriate, and a commitment to communicate openly and respectfully. At the same time, remember that healthy love always honors both people. It grows through mutual willingness, shared responsibility, and consistent acts of kindness. Whether your journey leads you back to your specific person or opens the door to another fulfilling relationship, never lower your standards out of fear of being alone. Continue believing that you deserve a partner who values your heart, celebrates your successes, supports your dreams, and chooses to stand beside you through life's challenges. The love you have always deserved is not built on uncertainty but on trust. It is not sustained by fear but by mutual respect. It is not dependent on perfection but on two people who are willing to grow together with compassion and sincerity. Walk forward each day with gratitude for the person you are becoming. Let your thoughts be filled with hope, your words reflect confidence, and your actions demonstrate self-respect. As you continue embracing this mindset, you prepare yourself to recognize, receive, and nurture a relationship that is healthier, stronger, and more fulfilling than anything you have experienced before. Your future is not defined by yesterday's disappointments, but by today's commitment to becoming someone who is fully ready to receive the lasting, genuine, and deeply fulfilling love you have always deserved.